Hi friends, welcome to part 2 of this video on Nakshatras. Part 1 has already been uploaded, so this is part 2. Look at the 7th lord of your horoscope, in which nakshatra it is placed. So this will be a detailed video. You will go deeper into the nakshatras, So how that nakshatra energy will influence your partner. 7th lord, the lord of the 7th house in your horoscope, stands for your partner, spouse or life partner. Alright? So how they'll be influenced by that nakshatra in which the 7th lord in your horoscope is placed. You can also look at the nakshatra in which the moon of your partner is placed. In case you know who's your partner, and if you have access to their horoscope, then you can look at the moon in their horoscope and the nakshatra in which moon is placed. That will also be very relevant, and you can relate it to this video as well. So either you look at the 7th lord nakshatra in your horoscope, or the nakshatra in which the moon of your partner is placed. So before moving on, I will show you a sample chart. Alright, and please subscribe to the channel, friends. If you want personal consultation, details are there in the video description. Let's go to the sample chart. Okay friends, so we will look at the Lagna chart. Okay, so this is just a structure of a chart, not the chart as it were. It is just a structure. Alright, so in this chart you can see that these are the planets, all the 9 planets in Vedic astrology, and also the 3 outer planets which are considered in Western astrology are mentioned here. So all the 12 planets will be plotted in the chart, in the D1 chart, which is the Lagna chart, North Indian style chart. This is the 1st house and this is the 7th house of relationship. Okay, 7th house. 7th house, this is the house of the partner. Alright, so these planets will be plotted somewhere here. So this is the chart of a native who is an Aries ascendant, and in the 7th house we see that the sign of Libra is there in the 7th house. Okay, so if the sign of Libra is there in the 7th house, then the lord of the 7th house will be Venus. So Venus is the lord of the 7th house. So 7th lord, in today's video we are going to find out in which nakshatra your 7th lord is placed. That means for this particular, in the case of this chart, which is just the structure, a blank chart. So in this chart, but we can at least say that because in the 7th house the sign of Libra is there, so the 7th lord will be Venus. So Venus will be the 7th lord in this case. So Venus is the 7th lord. So Venus is in which nakshatra in this horoscope? Okay, so if you plot the planets, say somewhere, and then you have to find out where Venus is placed. Alright, say Venus in this particular chart, say Venus is placed in Aquarius. So say if Venus is placed in this particular house, in the 11th house, and say if it is placed in Aquarius, then it's not just enough to look at the zodiac sign in which Venus is placed. Find out the nakshatra in which Venus is placed. Okay, so Venus is in Aquarius. Let's say Venus for this particular native is in Shatabhisha Nakshatra, because Shatabhisha Nakshatra falls in Aquarius. Alright, so say for this particular native, alright, 7th lord is Venus and Venus is in Aquarius, so Venus is in Shatabhisha Nakshatra. So then their partner, this native's partner will have all the qualities of Shatabhisha Nakshatra, because Venus is in Aquarius in Shatabhisha Nakshatra. So the partner will have all the qualities of Shatabhisha Nakshatra. So that's what we are going to discuss today. Even your partner's moon may be in Shatabhisha Nakshatra, then also you will get similar results. Alright, so now let's get started. Okay friends, as I mentioned in the part 1 of the nakshatra video of 7th lord, that in this part 2 I will cover nakshatras from Chitra to Revati. Alright, the remaining 14 nakshatras. I have covered the remaining 13 nakshatras, that is from Ashwini to Hasta nakshatra, in the part 1. Okay, look at that video. 7th Lord Nakshatra or your partner's moon is in which nakshatra, look at that part 1. So this is part 2. So today we will cover from Chitra to Revati. So if your 7th lord, if the lord of your 7th house, alright, in your horoscope, if that planet is placed in Chitra Nakshatra, so what can we say about your partner? Chitra Nakshatra is ruled by Mars, planet Mars. Alright, and Chitra Nakshatra falls in both Virgo and Libra, in these 2 zodiac signs. So sign lords will be Mercury and Venus. So find out Chitra Nakshatra in your horoscope, whether it is in Virgo or Libra. Okay, if Virgo, then the qualities of Mercury will be blended with Mars. If it is in Libra, then the quality of Venus will be blended with Mars, because Mars rules Chitra Nakshatra. Now the deity is Vishwakarma. Okay, Vishwakarma is the deity. And also even Indra, Lord Indra is also associated with Chitra Nakshatra. The symbol of this nakshatra is jewel or pearl. Okay, jewel or pearl, a gemstone which is very precious. So that is the symbol of Chitra. So what will be the qualities of your partner? Alright, so definitely your partner will be somebody who is hardworking, who will be ambitious in life. If this nakshatra is in Virgo, then they'll be very disciplined, meticulous. Okay, they'll be detail oriented, very structured, methodical. Okay, they don't like disorderliness. And they'll be very analytical. They'll have great intellectual capabilities. They can do very well in the field of research, investigation, in technology, occult, healing, psychology. These are all wonderful fields for them. Now, if Chitra Nakshatra is in Libra, then they can also be very social. They'll be very soft-hearted, gentle. Their behavior will be very pleasing. Also, they can be someone who is pleasant looking. Okay, they can be beautiful, good looking. Even if it is in Virgo, they can be good looking. Alright? And in Virgo, they'll be very particular about neatness and cleanliness also. They want perfection. They'll be perfectionists if it's in Virgo. In Libra, they'll be somebody who will be loved by people. They'll be very good at social interactions. Alright? So then they can do very well. If it's in Libra, they can do very well in any sort of business in which they are required to deal with other people. Alright? They can have artistic, creative abilities, both in Virgo and Libra. They can have, in Virgo, if it is there, they'll have great intellectual capabilities. Alright? And they can also be, or they can have original thinking, and they can have their innovative way of thinking. But in Libra, they'll be very creative again, very creative, artistic. And they can have artistic or creative skills. So all these qualities. Now, about your person, I can also say that your 7th lord is in Chitra, or your person's moon is in Chitra. That means they also have gone through ups and downs in their life. Alright? And the struggles, trials and tribulations that they have faced in life have shaped them, actually, have shaped their way of thinking, their worldview, and they have emerged stronger from those struggles, trials and tribulations, and that has brought about all those challenges that they have faced, ups and downs. They have brought about a positive transformation in their life. Alright, so whenever your partner will undergo challenges, struggles, they will definitely, they are people who are courageous also. They are brave. So they will, definitely try to overcome those problems, and They will face those challenges, and if they are able to do so, they will become victorious in the long run, and they will shine even brighter when they confront challenges and all, and they overcome those challenges. So those problems and vicissitudes will make them even shine brighter, okay, and they will emerge stronger and more successful because of those struggles, challenges, which will bring about a positive transformation in their life. So all these things we can say when your partner's nakshatra or seventh lord is in Chitra nakshatra. Now let's move on to what will happen if your seventh lord is in Swati nakshatra. Swati nakshatra is ruled by planet Rahu. It falls in Libra, so it is ruled by Venus. So you can combine the energies of Venus and Rahu, okay, in your partner. Now Swati nakshatra, the deity is Vayudev, okay, Vayudev. Vayudev is god of the wind or god of the winds, okay. So Vayudev. Now what is the symbol of Swati nakshatra? Symbol of Swati nakshatra is young plant swaying in the wind, right? So that is the symbol of Swati nakshatra. That means for your person, their freedom is very important. They value their freedom a lot, all right? They want to be independent, okay? They don't like to follow others' dictates much, all right? Swati nakshatra, because it's ruled by Rahu. There is something unusual about your person, all right? Now, but Swati nakshatra, again, it is falling in Libra. So they can be social also. They may love to mingle with people, but only with like-minded people. They will not be able to get along with people, who are, who have a different perspective. So they won't like their company at all. So they will like to mingle only with those people who are like-minded, okay. So that is the typical characteristic of Swati nakshatra people. They look for people who are like-minded or with whom their temperaments match, all right. So they look for such friends and people. So they will not have many friends. They'll be selective, okay, in matters of friendship. So they will have select friends, and they'll have some close people around them with whom they are very comfortable, all right. So they won't be able to be comfortable in the company of those people whom they don't like. Swati nakshatra, again, this nakshatra is auspicious, is considered to be auspicious. You can think of, they can have entrepreneurial skills, your person, okay. They can do well in business, okay. They can do well in business. By dint of their intelligence, they'll be able to deal with people also while doing business. But if they do some business, they will want to do it independently. That also. They do not like to be dictated by others. So all these qualities your person can have. They can be creative, artistic, they can have original thinking also. Their way of thinking can be very original, and they can also have innovative way of thinking, and also they can have this creative abilities, and they can also be people who have great intellectual capabilities, because after all Libra is an air sign, and Rahu is the head of the dragon or the head of the serpent, okay. So that is why Rahu is the head. So they have great intellectual capabilities also, people who have a strong Swati nakshatra. So if your partner has this nakshatra, they will have these qualities. If your 7th lord is in Swati Nakshatra, then definitely you will attract such a partner into your life. Okay? So all these qualities, they can, they will, they will also definitely love to lead a life of pleasure and comfort. Right? That is going to be very important for them. And they will love to interact with people with whom they are comfortable. So yeah, all these qualities they can have. So if they find a partner, who is compatible, then they will be very much attached to their partner also. So they will always look for a compatible partner, and if they find that partner, then they will be very much attached to that partner as well. They'll want to lead a life of comfort, pleasure, and they also want to attract love into their life. But they will be selective, they'll be careful also in choosing their partner. Now let's move on to what will happen if your 7th lord is in Vishakha Nakshatra. If it's in Vishakha Nakshatra, or if your person's moon is in Vishakha. Vishakha Nakshatra falls in both Libra and Scorpio. So, if it falls in Libra, then the energies of Venus and Jupiter will be combined, because Vishakha Nakshatra is ruled by Jupiter. If Vishakha Nakshatra, in your case, it falls in Scorpio, then the energies of Jupiter and Mars will be combined. Alright? The deity of Vishakha Nakshatra is Indra, okay, Lord Indra, and also Agni, Lord Agni, sometimes also referred to as Indragni. Alright? So both Indra and Agni, they are the deities associated with Vishakha Nakshatra. Alright? Now, Vishakha Nakshatra, the symbol is Potter's Wheel. Alright? Potter's Wheel, triumphal archway. So these are the symbols of Vishakha Nakshatra. Symbol is very relevant. Potter's Wheel. So many things are created on the potter's wheel. The potter gives shapes to various types of vessels, utensils, objects, articles on that wheel. Different shapes. Okay? That means your life will undergo some transformation. Okay? Something will happen which will mold your way of thinking, and your priorities will change forever. It's possible. Okay? Especially if Vishakha Nakshatra is in Scorpio, a huge transformation is there. Even if it is in Libra, your way of thinking will undergo a sea change as you gradually mature in life. So all these things, all these qualities your person may have. Triumphal archway. So Vishakha Nakshatra is ruled by Jupiter. That means, they are going to be victorious also if they are able to figure out, what sort of transformation is, going to be meaningful or fruitful for them. Then they are going to be triumphant and they are going to be victorious in their endeavors. So Vishakha is like, triumphal archway. That means you were following a certain path, okay, in the past. But this nakshatra, because you have a moon in this nakshatra, your partner has moon, or even you have a moon, then you will have these qualities. Or your 7th lord is in Vishakha, then your partner will have these qualities. That something will happen which will compel them to change their path. And they will branch out along a different direction altogether. Alright? And they will, they were following a certain path, and then they, somehow they get diverted, or they may get inspired to pursue something else in life, which will again bring about a transformation and change. So they will follow a path which can be totally different also. Eventually, it's possible. But some transformation will happen in their life. If it is in Libra, then definitely they can have artistic abilities, creative abilities, intellectual capabilities also. They'll be very good at dealing with people. They can have managerial skills. They can have counseling skills. They can be very good consultants, teachers, counselors. Vishakha Nakshatra, if it's in Scorpio, they'll be very good healers, occultists. Okay? And they can do very well in research investigation. Even in Libra, they can do well in research and investigation. So all these qualities your person can have. Vishakha Nakshatra is ruled by Jupiter. So they should always be optimistic in life. They should look at the brighter things in life. If Jupiter is well placed, your person will be optimistic. And they will always look at the bigger picture. They will have goals. Okay, they will keep chasing their goals. And they will want to attain their goals in life, no matter how difficult the path. And they may be inspired by something totally different. Such people know there can be a change in their career. It's possible. Or their worldview can change. So something is going to change in the life of Vishakha natives. And they will follow a path which can be very different from what they were following previously. If it's in Scorpio, it can also show that they're going to follow a spiritual path and spiritual transformation will happen. If Vishakha Nakshatra is there in Libra, then maybe they are going to move towards some foreign land. Okay? Even in Scorpio, it can show moving to a foreign land. It's possible. So all these things about your person, they will start gaining knowledge in a totally different field. That is also possible. Okay? But nevertheless, your person, because 7th Lord is in Vishakha, okay, so that means your person will definitely be knowledgeable. They will be insightful. They will have intellectual capabilities. Alright? So, and they will also be optimistic and goal-oriented. Now let's move on to what will happen if your 7th Lord is in Anuradha Nakshatra. If it is it's in Anuradha Nakshatra, Anuradha is ruled by Saturn. Alright? And Anuradha Nakshatra falls in Scorpio, ruled by Mars. So you will have to combine the energies of Saturn and Mars. Okay? In this case. So, and the deity is very significant. The deity is Mitra. Okay? So Mitra is also a solar deity. Okay, Mitra, Lord Mitra. So that is the god of friendship. Alright, Mitra. Now Anuradha Nakshatra is connected to various body parts. Body parts like breasts, womb, stomach, bowels. So all these, even the reproductive parts, stomach, even the female reproductive organs, they're all somehow organs or body parts associated with Anuradha, because after all Anuradha falls in Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign which is connected with reproduction, recreation, okay, rebirth also. Now, what else we can say? The symbol of Anuradha Nakshatra is lotus flower. Okay, lotus flower. So, and the deity is Mitra, the god of friendship. So these people, they will believe in friendship. Yes. And Saturn is there. It's ruled by Saturn. And if Saturn is well placed, then they will be very responsible people. They will never run away from their responsibilities. They'll be dutiful, accountable, hardworking, and they will be devoted to their goal in life, devoted to their partner in life. They will believe in being faithful, loyal, and devoted to their partner. They'll come across as a partner who's friendly, also. Okay, so Saturn and Mars. So you have to combine these qualities. They'll be devoted. They will also sometimes act upon their instincts. So they will follow their instincts a lot. Okay, instincts. And they can also follow their impulses a lot. Alright? They can be good at research, investigation, even technology. Okay? So they can also do well in administration. It's possible. So all these qualities your person can have. So in love and relationship, they will believe in fidelity. So they want fidelity, loyalty. Okay, even they expect these qualities in their partner. And they themselves are very loyal, committed. Okay, and they are devoted in the relationship. Alright, so all these things. They know how to maintain relations with people. So they believe in maintaining friendly relations also with people. Okay, friendly, but at the same time, they know their boundaries. They know their boundaries, because you have to remember Saturn and Mars. Devoted, yes. Committed, they'll be helpful. They'll help their friends whenever their friends are in need of help. But they will always, maintain their boundaries. They will give a lot of importance to their independence, to their sense of self-respect. So that is also very important for them. Alright? And they can be ambitious. They can also be, a people who are a little secretive by nature. It's possible. At times they may love to remain in isolation, and they may act in silence. They will only let their success make the noise. Whenever they will act in silence, maybe even in secrecy. So they can also do well in any field of research investigation. They can do well even in the occult fields, in administration, as I mentioned, and they can also do well in the field of law, okay, in the intelligence department. So all these things we can say about Anuradha Nakshatra. They're good at maintaining diplomatic relationships also, okay, in the professional front. Now let's move on to what will happen if your 7th lord is in Jyeshtha Nakshatra, or your person's moon is in Jyeshtha. Jyeshtha Nakshatra falls in Scorpio. So the sign lord is Mars, and Jyeshtha Nakshatra is ruled by Mercury. So you have to combine the results of Mercury and Mars. They can be very good at technology. They'll be very good advisors. Jyeshtha Nakshatra is referred to as the chief star or the elder star, because the Lord or the Deity of Jyeshtha Nakshatra is Lord Indra. Indra is the god of all the gods in the heavens. Indra is the Lord of the heavens. So Jyeshtha Nakshatra, that means they will be, they can again at times have superiority complex also. But if, Mercury is well placed in your horoscope, find out how it is placed. Even Mars, how it is placed. If it is more or less well placed, then they will have a superiority complex, because actually they are intelligent, insightful. The way they look at reality, so their way of looking at things is so very unique. And that is why they believe that they are people who can guide others. They will do very well as, guides, as, advisors. They can be very good at counseling, at healing, and they can excel in the occult as well. So all these qualities your person can have. They can do well in the field of law, alright, in any field of research, investigation, in any field wherein it's required to gain in-depth knowledge and impart that knowledge to others. They can be very good counselors. They can guide people because they have a very uncanny ability of, looking at things. They can go to the bottom of things. They can, somehow know something to its very core. Okay? So they can get to the bottom of reality of things. That's why they can have in-depth knowledge. Their ability to see things can be very unique. Okay? So, and no other person may be able to conceive things in the way they can conceive. Extremely analytical, insightful, intelligent. All these qualities your person can have. They can be very good at debate, great argumentative abilities. They will believe in logical reasoning. Alright? They will believe in observation. They will believe in research. They will believe in gaining knowledge. They can also be, people who are spiritual. Alright? After all, Scorpio. So, they can be people who can show the way to others. So they'll be very good as counselors, as psychologists. So all these qualities. Alright? So whenever you need advice or counsel, you should turn to your partner. They are the best person to guide you. Alright? So all these qualities, okay, your person can have. Again, if Mercury and Mars are not well placed, then they can be a little dominating. They can play mind games. Okay? They can exert their dominance over you. They can be very controlling and even, they can be revengeful and all these things, all these qualities. If Mercury and Mars are not so well placed or getting afflicted. Now let's move on to what will happen if your 7th Lord is in Mula Nakshatra. Mula Nakshatra. Alright. So this nakshatra is ruled by planet Ketu and it falls in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So you have to combine the energies of Jupiter and Ketu for this nakshatra. Mula Nakshatra, ruled by Ketu. So, and the deity of Mula Nakshatra is Nirti. Nirti is the deity of this nakshatra. Nirti, the goddess of death and destruction. Goddess of death and destruction. Nirti is the deity. It sounds very frightening, but it is not that frightening because Mula Nakshatra people are very determined, very determined. If they set their minds to something, they will end up achieving it by hook or by crook. Once they have set their goal, there is no looking back. They can be the pioneers in their field of work, forerunners, pioneers, because Mula is the foundation star. They can set the foundation of an empire, as it were. Okay? So, they can be the creator of some brand, business, entrepreneurial skills. They can also set a new trend. Alright? Once they have thought of attaining some goal and once their mind is fixated on that, nothing can, change their mindset, and their determination can never be dampened. They will go on chasing that goal. They're very focused on their goal. And in the process of chasing that goal, their entire life can undergo a transformation. People who will come in contact with them, their lives also can undergo a transformation. Okay? Mula Nakshatra people are very powerful. Alright, if Jupiter is well placed, and look at how Ketu is placed, if that is also strongly placed, then these people, they will be the leaders, pioneers in any field of work. Alright, they'll be the masters in their field. Now, the symbol is a bundle of roots or elephant goad. Elephant goad, that metal hook which is fixed, which is attached to a handle. So that metallic hook which is attached to a handle, it is used by the mahout. The mahout is the person who controls the elephant, the mahout. So that person will hit the elephant somewhere around its neck, so that the elephant, remains alert and conscious of the direction along which it is supposed to move ahead. So it is used to control the elephant goad. So such people are very grounded, very rooted. They could be even rooted in their own tradition, culture. Alright? And bundle of roots, that is why, roots, the foundation. So they will lay the foundation of an empire also, you can say. So they can do very well in business, they can have great entrepreneurial skills, they can do very well in spiritual path. They may move towards spiritual, practices in life. They can do that. Also, they can be a guide, counselor, advisor, consultant, teacher, professor, all these qualities. Now, so they will believe in their roots, in their tradition, in their culture, even in their religion. So they will believe in that. Okay? They will also believe in being structured, disciplined, organized. Alright? So, and they will believe in focusing on their path, on their goal. Okay, with unitary focus, with single-minded, or you can say with unitary focus. I mean, their focus is just, unbreakable, or you can say unshakable. Unshakable focus on something they can have. And that ability to focus on things, on their goals, targets, will enable them to rise in life. Okay? So yeah, if Jupiter is well placed and even Ketu is strongly placed, they will believe in morality. They will never compromise on their moral principles. But again, if the person's nakshatra is Mula, your person's nakshatra or your seventh lord is in Mula, and if Jupiter is not well placed in the horoscope, Ketu is also weakly placed, then what will happen? Your person may be somebody who is confused, lost in life. It's possible. They can also, maybe they will have to undergo lots of trials and tribulations, lots of problems, ups and downs, lots of challenges they will have to face in life, and they may not have any clue how to come out of those problems. They won't be able to confront those challenges. If Jupiter is not well placed, then the results will not be that positive. And all those vicissitudes and problems, all those adversities will weigh them down, will bring them down, and they will never be able to, rise. All those ups and downs, they will find them very suffocating. That is also possible. If Jupiter is not well placed, if Ketu is weakly placed, then you should do the remedies for Jupiter and Ketu. Now let's move on to what will happen if your seventh lord is in Purva Ashadha Nakshatra. Purva Ashadha Nakshatra is ruled by, Venus. Ruled by Venus, and Purva Ashadha Nakshatra falls in Sagittarius. So the sign lord is Jupiter. So both the gurus are coming together. Jupiter is the guru of the gods. Jupiter is Brihaspati, guru of the gods, teacher of the gods. And Venus is the guru or the teacher of the demons. So both the gurus, both the teachers are coming together. So this is a nakshatra. If your seventh lord is in Purva, Ashadha, your person can be very knowledgeable. They can have a lot of knowledge. Alright? And they can also be people who are very, very diplomatic, even manipulative. It's possible. Very clever, very intelligent and knowledgeable. Now the deity of this nakshatra is Apas, goddess of water. Goddess of water, Apas, is the deity of this nakshatra. Alright? That is why they are also very intuitive. They can have great intuitive powers, intuition. Water, after all. Yes? So their knowledge, their intuition, their manipulative abilities will enable them to do well in any field of work which is connected with the use of knowledge, which is connected with the use of, their ability to, even this is happening in Sagittarius, so making use of their knowledge to see things, to solve problems. So they can do well in any field of research investigation. They can do any field of work which involves the use of knowledge. Okay? They can also be people who love their sense of independence. They have a high sense of self-respect. And they are very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable. No one can beat them in their knowledge. Okay? They always have a lot of knowledge and understanding of things. So, the symbol is the elephant's tusk. The winnowing basket is another symbol. And the fan, Purva Ashadha Nakshatra, the symbol is the fan. Okay? And the elephant's tusk. The elephant's tusk symbolizes victory. Purva Ashadha is also referred to as the earlier victory. So whatever they will set their hands on in life, they will come out victorious. They will come out victorious. Okay? So yeah, combine the energies of Jupiter and Venus. And Sagittarius is the sign in which this nakshatra falls. So if Jupiter is well placed, Venus is also well placed, then because of their knowledge, they will also be able to enhance wealth, prosperity in life, social recognition, prosperity. They'll be able to attain in life. Alright? Yeah. So, you see, Purva Ashadha Nakshatra. So, the symbol is so very pertinent. Elephant's tusk. So, it is the symbol of victory. Okay? They have a great ability to see the reality of things also. Their way of looking at reality is wonderful because they are always backed by their knowledge. Means they have the support of their knowledge. So they will not talk superficially. So they will neither act superficially. So their actions, their words, everything will be guided by knowledge. Alright? So again, if Jupiter and Venus are more or less well placed. Alright? On the one hand, they want to seek knowledge, they want to gain knowledge. On the other hand, they also want to lead a life of pleasure, comfort, luxury. They want to attract, whatever, they will also look for a companion who is knowledgeable, with whom they can have, discussions intellectual discussions, they can discuss their thoughts, ideas. They can also look for such a partner. It's possible they may get attracted to such people also. Alright, so yeah, so all these things about your partner, they will do very well in any field of counseling, healing, even occult, and okay, so all these fields, any field in which they are required to make use of their knowledge, expertise, they will do well in such fields of work. So yeah, all these things about Purva Ashadha Nakshatra, they are born to be victorious and successful in life. Now let's move on to the next nakshatra. If your 7th lord is in Uttara Ashadha Nakshatra, Uttara Ashadha Nakshatra ruled by Sun, and it falls in both Sagittarius and Capricorn. If it falls in Sagittarius, then you have to combine the energies of Jupiter and Sun. And if Uttara Ashadha Nakshatra falls in Capricorn, then you have to combine the energies of Saturn and Sun. Alright? So Uttara Ashadha refers to later victory. Both Purva Ashadha and Uttara Ashadha, they are referred to as the invincible stars. Invincible. Unconquerable. They cannot be defeated because they will be successful, they will be victorious. Uttara Ashadha, later victory. Victory, success, prosperity will come to them. It may come a little later in life, but it will come to them. Eventually, it will come to them. They are also people who will never compromise on their moral principles. After all, ruled by Sun. Find out how Sun is placed in the horoscope. They will believe in their sense of morality. Alright, they will not believe in engaging themselves in immoral activities. Uttara Ashadha people. Uttara Ashadha people, if it falls in Sagittarius, then Sun and Jupiter, your person will be very knowledgeable. They can do very well in any field of knowledge, whether it is medical profession, any field, whether it is any sort of job of professor, teaching, counseling, law, in any field, administration, okay, in any field of work, managerial jobs. So they will do well and they will be very knowledgeable. Okay, Sun and Jupiter. So great teachers, counselors, and also consultants, and people with a lot of knowledge. If Uttara Ashadha Nakshatra, if Uttara Ashadha, this nakshatra is falling in Capricorn, then you have to combine the energies of Saturn and Sun. At times they may get into conflict with people who are higher in authority, who are, people who are superior to them in power and authority. So they may get into conflict with people in authority. It's possible. Sun and Saturn energies are combined. So then your person, they should always remember one thing, that they should always respect their elders, their father figures, and their seniors and superiors. Always respect them. Because you may have a tendency, such people, they may have a tendency to revolt against authority. They themselves will believe in honesty, but they will not be able to tolerate injustice, which is meted out to them by seniors. So they may tend to raise their voice against injustice. Now, if you are working in an organization, then you have to be a little careful. So, when you're working in an organization, I'm not saying that you have to tolerate injustice, not that, but at times it is also important for you to be a little diplomatic, careful, and manipulative. You have to be that. because it is a workplace, okay? And there if you overtly protest against seniors, against people in authority, you may get into trouble. So do not tolerate injustice, but as far as possible, stay away from conflicts. Conflicts against seniors, superiors, stay away from that. Very important. Uttarashara Nakshatra, whether it falls in Sagittarius or Capricorn, these people, they are goal-oriented in life. They will be goal-oriented. Alright, they can also be ambitious. That is why later victory. So they will never let their ambition die down. They will never give up on their ambition in life. They will stick to their ambition no matter what. And if they remain perseverant, if they keep pursuing their, work, then sooner or later, eventually, they will become successful. Uttarashara people. And they will be successful in their endeavors. It's just a matter of time. So all they need is patience and the desire to gain knowledge. They must go on gaining knowledge and chasing their ambition, their goal in life. And eventually, Uttarashara people, they will become successful. Definitely they will be successful. Uttarashara people, they usually, they are people who, again, may not like the company of, they may suffocate in the company of those people who are maybe vicious, wicked in their eyes. So then in the company of those people, they may suffocate. So Uttarashara people, they also at times they like to be in isolation, especially if it is falling in Capricorn. Okay, even if it is falling in Sagittarius, they will want to chase their goals and targets, whether in Capricorn or Sagittarius. And they may like to, if it's in Sagittarius, they will like to travel to foreign lands. Okay? If it's in Capricorn, they will, focus more just on their work. Okay? Their work is their worship. If it is in Sagittarius, then they will be very dutiful, very accountable. They'll be loyal to their partner. If it is in Capricorn, they'll be very responsible towards their partner. Also dutiful. So all these qualities. They at times like to be in isolation. Okay? Remain in isolation, gain knowledge, chase their ambition in silence, with patience, perseverance. And that is why finally, eventually, they become victorious and successful in life. All these things about Uttarashara. Now let's move on to what will happen if your seventh lord is in Shravana Nakshatra. Oh, Uttarashara, I forgot to mention, the deity is the Vishwadevas. The Vishwadevas, that is why Uttarashara is also referred to sometimes as the universal star, because the universal gods, the Vishwadevas, the gods that, the gods of the universe that refer or that stand for 10 different directions. They are the deities of Uttarashara Nakshatra. The universal gods that stand for 10 different directions. So they are the, deities of Uttarashara Nakshatra, also referred to as the Gana Devas, the gods of Dharma, That is why these people, they believe in the path of dharma, duty. They will never compromise on their duty. Duty is everything for them in life, their responsibility. Now let's move on to what will happen when your 7th lord is in Shravana Nakshatra. Shravana is ruled by moon and it falls in Capricorn, particularly in Capricorn. So sign lord is Saturn. So you have to combine the energies of moon and Saturn. The deity of this nakshatra is the ear. The deity of the nakshatra is the ear, Shravana. Shravana means listening to something, listening or hearing. That is Shravana. So ear. Ear is the symbol of Shravana Nakshatra. Deity is Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu. Okay. So Vishnu is the deity who is responsible for the maintenance of the universe. Lord Vishnu is the ultimate preserver. Okay. So now Shravana Nakshatra. So find out how Saturn and Moon are placed in your horoscope. If they are well placed, then definitely your person, they will be very good at listening. They'll be very good listeners. And no matter how these planets are placed, if your person, if they listen to their teachers, seniors, well-wishers with patience, they will benefit in life. They should develop the habit of listening to others. Instead of talking more, they should listen more. They should, lend an ear to others. They should be very good listeners. So that will, with their power of listening, or because of their listening skills, they will be able to gain knowledge. Shravana Nakshatra. And that's why, if you're good at listening, you can also learn any sort of, you can master any sort of art. You can develop artistic skills, creative skills also. Like Shravana people, they may be great lover of music. They may have artistic abilities. Music and the arts, they may be connected to that. Because after all, ruled by moon. Very creative people. They may at times like to remain in isolation. And they may like to, remain in isolation, listen to music, or listen to something because of which they'll be able to gain knowledge. So they may like to do that in isolation at times. Nevertheless, they will be attached to their family. They can also be very much attached to their family. They'll be selective in making friends. They'll have only a select group of, only a few friends. So select friends they can have. So, but their friends and family, they can be emotionally attached to them. Shravana people, not only they can have artistic or creative abilities, they can also have great power of intuition. And if they listen more, if they listen to people who are there to teach them something or guide them, then they will, be able to enhance their power of intuition. They'll be able to enhance their analytical skills. Their power of intuition will get enhanced. So they have to listen and they have to learn. That's important for them. Okay? Lending your ear to others for the purpose of learning something. That is important. Shravana Nakshatra people, They again find out how Moon and Saturn are placed, how they are placed. So if they are not so well placed, then they may be very pessimistic. They may have all kinds of negative thoughts. Okay? They may always look at the darker side of things. Alright? There may be lack of patience in them. So all these things can happen. They may at times become very selfish, self-centered if Moon and Saturn are not well placed. If they are well placed, then they'll be very generous, compassionate, kind-hearted towards others. They can do very well in any field of work which is connected with healthcare, nursing, human resource department, counseling. They can be very good teachers also. They can do well, they can have their own podcast. They can interview people on their podcast. So they can do podcasting. They can also do, they can be people who are, again, people who believe in, eventually, they can be very spiritual also, very liberal, very generous, very charitable. They can develop all these qualities also. Because Lord Vishnu is the ultimate provider and, preserver. So they will also become very generous, very charitable. Again, if Saturn and Moon are well placed, then they will have all these spiritual qualities. And they will be compassionate and they will be, spiritual minded people, and they will believe in helping others out. Okay? So all these qualities. Now, so they can do well in any field of music and the fine arts. They can be very good healers. They can do well in psychology, occultists. They can be, so all these fields. Now let's move on to what will happen if your 7th lord is in Dhanishta Nakshatra. Dhanishta Nakshatra is ruled by planet Mars, and Dhanishta falls in Capricorn and Aquarius both. If Dhanishta falls in Capricorn, then you have to combine the energies of Saturn and Mars. If Dhanishta Nakshatra falls in Aquarius, you have to combine the energies of Saturn and Mars, and also Rahu for that matter, because Aquarius is also connected with Rahu. So the deity of Dhanishta Nakshatra is the Ashtavasus. The Ashtavasus, the 8 Vedic gods. The 8 Vedic gods. Okay? They are referred to as the 8 Vedic elemental gods of nature. Gods of nature. Okay? 8 elemental gods of nature. Sometimes Lord Nataraja is also associated with Dhanishta Nakshatra. The symbol of this nakshatra is the drum. Symbol is the drum, the musical instrument. The drum is the symbol. So if this nakshatra is taking place in Capricorn, then definitely your person, the 7th lord is in Dhanishta, your person can be very disciplined, systematic, structured, goal-oriented, grounded, practical. They will believe in their hard work and they will believe in bringing about a positive transformation in their life by dint of their hard work, diligence, and they will also be materialistic. They will believe in accumulating wealth and resources in life. If Dhanishta Nakshatra is happening in Aquarius, then Saturn, yes, but also Rahu energy is going to be combined. So they will believe in their own sense of independence. They will value their sense of freedom a lot. Their freedom is very important for them. Okay? They won't like to be dictated by others. So they should think about entrepreneurial ventures. They will do well in independent business because they also have great innovative thinking when it's in Aquarius. They have great intellectual capabilities. They have new ideas, original thinking. They can do well in research, investigation, and technology, healing, occult, and so on. If it's in Aquarius, all these things. If it's in Capricorn, they can also do well in technology, in managerial positions, in administration, they can do well. Now, Dhanishta Nakshatra, the symbol is the drum. So, that means these people also, they can be a great lover of music. They may love music. Alright? And they can also be people who may love music, who may love any sort of fine arts. So they can also have, Dhanishta is ruled by Mars, and it is, again, we have to combine the energies of Saturn. So they will also rely on their instincts. They will also believe in their structure, in their sense of structure, discipline, order. And definitely they can also be people who have knowledge. If it's in Capricorn, they will gain knowledge from experience, experiential knowledge. If Dhanishta is in Aquarius, then they will be knowledgeable. They'll have great ideas, great thoughts, great knowledge of things, great intellectual capabilities. In Capricorn, they will have analytical abilities, and they will have intuition also in Capricorn. In Aquarius, they will have great observation powers. Very well they will do in any field of research, investigation, even healing, and so on. So all these things we can say. In Aquarius, if it is there, they can be connected to occult as well. Alright? So Dhanishta, whether in Capricorn, whether in Aquarius, they will have the power of intuition. So they can move towards occult. It's possible. Or they will be people who believe in their work. Okay? Who believe in their work. There'll be people who believe, especially if it's in Capricorn, they believe in actions. But if it's in Aquarius, they will believe in the power of their thoughts and knowledge more. Okay, they will want to bring about, a transformation in their life by dint of their knowledge and thoughts and ideas. So they believe that by dint of their knowledge, they'll be able to bring about a positive transformation, positive change in their life, if it's happening in Aquarius. Alright? Now, so all these things. In Capricorn, again, they will be very disciplined, very dutiful and loyal to you in the relationship. If it's in Aquarius, they are looking for a relationship which will also be based on friendship, healthy cooperation and collaboration. So all these things we can say about Dhanishta. So this nakshatra is auspicious. If a person is hardworking, if they believe in their own efforts, knowledge, their creative abilities, whatever skills they have, if they believe in their knowledge, if they believe in their hard work, then if they go on making efforts, then over time they will become successful in life, and they will attract wealth, prosperity, resources and riches in life. Now let's move on to what will happen if your seventh lord is in Shatabhisha Nakshatra. Shatabhisha Nakshatra is ruled by Rahu, planet Rahu, and it falls in Aquarius. Aquarius is also again ruled by Rahu and Saturn, both you can say. So Shatabhisha Nakshatra, the deity is Varuna, the god of cosmic waters, the god of the rains, the god of the cosmic waters is Varuna, Lord Varuna. So ruler of Shatabhisha, Rahu is referred to at times as the ruler of Asuras. Rahu is an Asura, is a demon. Okay? So Shatabhisha people, they can be healers, they can have healing abilities, mystical healer. And they also have great intuitive powers. That is why, the deity is the god of the waters. So intuition. The symbol is the empty circle. So mysterious. So Shatabhisha people, they are known for their secrecy. They believe in secrecy, in maintaining secrecy. Their concealment of things, is their power. So their life force is their power of concealment, their power of maintaining secrecy. That is their life force. Alright? So empty circle. You see? What is inside that circle you don't know. It is empty. Is it really empty? Or is there something in it? It appears to be empty. Alright? So it's so mysterious. Alright? Now, that circle, it also can show that Shatabhisha people will not allow other people. They will not include anyone and everyone in their circle. So they may have a very closed circle of friends and near and dear ones. They cannot trust others easily. Very secretive they can be. They can also be manipulative, diplomatic. And they will not trust others easily. Alright? So they will let only select people into their circle. So that's why a closed circle of people whom they can trust. People who are like-minded and whom they can trust. So a very limited group of people can be there with whom they are close. Shatabhisha. They may close off, they may themselves, or they may somehow shield themselves against outsiders. It's possible. They may not be comfortable mingling with people in general in society. So they may like to remain in isolation also. And even if they mingle with certain people, those people have to be very trustworthy. Alright? So they have healing abilities. Means they can be very good counselors, advisors. They can heal people with their suggestions, with their knowledge, with their counseling abilities. So they could be into the occult, healing, into counseling. They can be great teachers. Alright? They can also be people who may be into research, investigation. They can be into medicine. They may heal people with medicine, with therapy, so they can be psychologists. So all these things. Very mysterious, secretive people. Not very easy to decode their mindset, what they're actually thinking of. Because they don't let anyone in. So so they shield themselves somehow. They protect. They remain a little isolated also, you can say. Shatabhisha people. So they have great intuitive powers. Yes, great powers of intuition. So any field of work which involves the use of intuition is good for Shatabhisha people. Natural ability of healing others. Now let's move on to what will happen when your seventh lord will be, if it is in Purvabhadrapada Nakshatra. Purvabhadrapada falls in both Aquarius and Pisces. Purvabhadrapada Nakshatra is ruled by Jupiter. Alright? And it falls in both Aquarius and Pisces. So if it falls in Aquarius, then you have to combine the energies of Saturn and Jupiter. And if it falls in Pisces, then definitely you will have all the qualities of Jupiter. Find out how Jupiter is placed in your horoscope. So if Purvabhadrapada Nakshatra is in Aquarius, then definitely Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, also Rahu. then such people, they will believe in their own sense of freedom, independence. They will not listen to other people's advice much. They will ignore what other people say and think about. They will not care about others' opinion much. They will focus on their own logical reasoning. They will have their own logic, their own way of looking at things, reasoning, and their own way of making sense of reality, and they will follow that only. They will not be bothered about what others are thinking. Their sense of freedom, independence, very important for them. No compromise on their sense of freedom. Okay? They may also at times want to, do something for their own selves. They may want their me time. Okay? They do not like interference of others. They can be very ambitious in life. They want the world for themselves, as it were. Very ambitious. If Purvabhadrapada is in Aquarius, very, very ambitious, they can have intellectual capabilities. So any field of research, investigation, technology, occult, psychology is good for them. They can be great counselors and teachers also. Alright, if Purvabhadrapada Nakshatra is in Pisces, then it's all about Jupiter, because Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and Purvabhadrapada is also ruled by Jupiter. Then find out how Jupiter is placed. If it is well placed, they'll be very knowledgeable, very compassionate, creative, very merciful, kind-hearted, generous, charitable towards others. They can also be dual. They can have a dual personality. Purvabhadrapada, whether Aquarius, whether Pisces, whether it falls in any of the zodiac signs, they always have a certain duality. Why, Because the symbol of Purvabhadrapada Nakshatra is a two-headed man, a man with two heads. So they can always be in two minds, whether it is in Aquarius, whether it is in Pisces. Always confused. Initially in life, they may come across as people who are always confused. They will always, whenever they talk, they will use a lot of ifs and buts. If this happens, if that happens, but if this happens, but if that doesn't happen. So ifs and buts. Very confused initially in life. Until they gain knowledge and that realization, dawns upon them and they attain maturity. So until that happens. So initially they can be very confused in life, Purvabhadrapada people. And there will be a duality of nature, duality of character will be there. Whether Aquarius or Pisces, duality will always be there. You will at times feel that it's so difficult to understand what they actually are. At home they will be someone, outside they will be totally someone else. In a different setting they will be again someone else. So a lot of duality in their nature and character. It's possible. They may also come across as people who are a little mysterious, secretive by nature, who keep secrets from others. They will be interested in, in others' secrets. They will always want to know what others are thinking about, and they will be curious about other people's secrets, but they will not reveal their own secrets. It's possible. They can be secretive. Very interested in black magic, in occult, I've seen Purvabhadrapada people. They're interested in all that, in casting spells, which can bring about a transformation, interested in spiritual subjects, in occult practices, spiritual practices, meditation, yoga also. They may be interested in all that. They may be interested in, as I said, spell casting, in even black magic. Okay? But black magic is something, even if they're interested in, they should not practice. Because it has negative consequences. If you practice black magic, it will backfire someday or the other. So one should stay away from black magic. But it is good to explore the world of the occult. In the occult world, if you gain knowledge, occult knowledge, and if you guide someone, if you provide someone with a sense of direction, that is good. Okay? But not black magic. But these people, they may have a tendency to, believe in those people who practice black magic or tantra and all. So they may, fall for those people. The symbol is two-headed man, crossed swords, two swords that are crossed in crossed position, the two legs of a bed. So it's always a duality can be there, all right, in their nature. It's possible. But nevertheless, there will be people who are selfless. If Jupiter is well placed, okay, then there will be people who are selfless, charitable. They can go out of their way to help others also. Okay? So, yeah, and they can also be very knowledgeable people. Okay, knowledgeable. Whenever they make use of their knowledge in life, they will do very well. They will excel in their career and profession. Alright? In relationship, also they can be faithful, but they expect the same from the partner. Okay? Especially if it is an Aquarius, they will believe in give and take. If it's in Pisces, they'll be a little more forgiving and accommodating. Now let's move on to what will happen if, alright, did I talk about the deity? Purvabhadrapada. The deity is Aja Ekapada. Aja Ekapada is, the one-footed aspect of Lord Shiva, or the one-footed version, or the one-footed, aspect of Lord Rudra. So that is the deity. The animal symbol is the male lion. They will focus on a single path, one-footed, Look at the deity, one-footed Shiva, one-footed Rudra. So with single-minded devotion. So initially they'll be confused, yes. But once they figure out what is their goal in life, so it is very important for them. They need a guru, they need a guide. If they are themselves not able to figure out their life path. So once they get proper guidance, they'll be determined and they will focus on that single path with a lot of devotion. And that will bring about a transformation in their life. They can be creative, very intelligent, knowledgeable. Okay? They will be interested in exploring the darker realities of things, as I said. So they may be interested in the occult, black magic, though they should stay away from black magic. They can practice, occult science. Gaining occult knowledge is very good for them, Purvabhadrapada people, or any field of research, investigation, psychology, okay, even technology is very good for them. Now let's move on to what will happen if your seventh lord is an Uttarabhadrapada Nakshatra. Uttarabhadrapada Nakshatra is ruled by Saturn, planet Saturn, and it falls in Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. So the energies of both Saturn and Jupiter will now be combined. So Uttarabhadrapada people, they are very good at giving advice, counsel, suggestions. They can be great teachers, counselors, consultants. Okay, they can be into counseling jobs. Uttarabhadrapada people, they can also be people who believe in experiential knowledge gained from experience. And Uttarabhadrapada people, you have to remember that this nakshatra is, the deity is the Ahir Budhanya. Ahir Budhanya is the deity. What is Ahir Budhanya? The celestial serpent of the bottom. The celestial serpent, the snake. Serpent, I'm wearing a serpent ring, okay? The celestial serpent of the bottom. If you can see, this is a serpent ring. So Ahir Budhanya is the celestial serpent of the bottom. Alright. Symbol is the serpent. Symbol of this nakshatra is serpent. So what does the serpent show? Serpent, also the back legs of a funeral cot. A cot where a dead body may be, a dead body can, be placed on that cot. It is a funeral cot. Alright. So the back legs of the funeral cot, or the serpent. That means, what is the funeral cot? It is taking you towards what? Death. That means death has already happened. It's a funeral cot. And the body is gone. And now the soul is looking for rebirth. Definitely. So transformation. Transformation is happening. So transformation is the key word. And serpent is also a creature that stands for transformation. It can be spiritual transformation. And that is why Uttarabhadrapada in Pisces. So these people know, initially in life they may be a little confused, but once they figure out their purpose in life, they'll be devoted to that purpose, they'll be focused, and they will also eventually know, they will be very, very spiritual, very compassionate, kind-hearted, forgiving, okay? They will be a giver, and they will move towards spiritual transformation also. They will be also eventually interested in spiritual practices. They will be definitely, initially in life, they may be a little confused, and then once they figure out how they need to gain knowledge, how their experience, their life experiences is going to teach them a lot, and they will, once they gain knowledge of things, they will become very mature, and they will move towards spiritual practices and charity. They can be very charitable also. So Uttarabhadrapada people, very good at teaching, counseling. Okay? So you can turn to them for advice, for suggestions. Alright? Yeah. They are people who are very balanced in their judgment. Because you see the combination of Jupiter and Saturn. So very balanced. Neither they'll be too optimistic, nor they'll be too pessimistic. The perfect balance will be there in them. And that is why their sense of judgment is so wonderful and balanced. Alright? So any field of occult practices, counseling is good for them. Spiritual practices, meditation, yogic practices. So any such field is good for them. Alright? They can also be people who are into, nursing, health care, taking care of others. Okay? They may be associated with various organizations, and they may be engaged in charitable activities. Also possible. So, gaining knowledge, or gaining knowledge of the reality of life, that will bring about a transformation in their life. Uttarabhadrapada people, they will undergo transformation. Definitely they will undergo transformation in life. Uttarabhadrapada people. Alright? So, the animal that is associated with Uttarabhadrapada Nakshatra is the female cow. Yeah, female cow. Okay? So why female cow is associated with Uttarabhadrapada? Because these people are so very generous, kind-hearted, compassionate. A cow, no? A female cow. Cow is, worshipped in Hinduism, in Sanatan Dharma. Cow is worshipped. Okay? As a goddess. So, because it gives us food, it provides milk, and a cow is is a creature that is such a benefic. Yes. So it's known for its generosity and benevolence. That is why any sort of profession which involves, you could be into the human resource sector, you could be into healthcare sector, you could be connected with hospitals, asylums, sanatoriums, wherein you need to take care of people who are mentally, physically challenged, or you may be connected to old age homes, even orphanages, taking care of children who are orphan, or old age home, old age people, aged people in old age homes. So, remaining associated with those places and doing some charity, that is actually very, it's very important for Uttarabhadrapada people to be engaged in such activities. Then they will be blessed by the divine. Now let's move on to what will happen finally if your 7th Lord is in Revati Nakshatra. If it's in Revati Nakshatra, and we know that Revati Nakshatra is ruled by Mercury, 7th Lord, or your person's moon may be in Revati. Alright? So Revati Nakshatra ruled by Mercury, in your 7th Lord is in Revati. So 7th Lord is your partner, and Revati Nakshatra also falls in Pisces. It falls in Pisces. So we have to combine the energies of Jupiter and Mercury. So such people, needless to say, they'll be very knowledgeable. Lot of knowledge they will have. At the same time, initially they may be a little confused, but once they figure out their purpose in life, yes, they will gain knowledge. They can also move towards spiritual practices, charitable activities. They can also be very compassionate, caring, and by dint of their knowledge, they can also become wealthy and prosperous in life. Okay? They can, Revati is also a very auspicious nakshatra. It is also the nakshatra of wealth and abundance. It can give you a lot of wealth, great abundance in life. So, initially a little confused maybe, but eventually once they figure out their life path, if they focus on gaining knowledge, and if they go on making efforts along a meaningful direction, these people, they will end up becoming very prosperous, rich, wealthy, well established in life, and then they will also turn towards charity and helping others out. Then they will be compassionate, merciful, kind-hearted, and they will also help other people. Okay? The deity of Revati is Pushan. The deity of Revati is Pushan, god of nourishment and safe travel. Pushan is a god, yes. Pushan, again a solar deity. So Pushan is the god of nourishment. Nourishment, providing nourishment and safe travel. This god is also referred to as Pushan is referred to as the god of travel. That is why Revati people know they can do well in the travel and tourism industry also. Okay, they may be connected with any sort of work which involves import and export of goods. They can be travel guides. Okay, they can be into occult, because Pisces, so spiritual practices, occult practices, healing, nursing, alright, psychology. Okay, so they may become fortunate if they move to a foreign land. That's also possible. So they can also have foreign connections, and they may benefit from those connections. They may at times like to remain isolated. Revati people, they may at times like to remain in isolation. Okay, symbol is a pair of fish. Okay, 2 fish. It is just the symbol of Pisces, a pair of fish. So there can be a certain duality of character also. So at times they may come across as people who are mysterious, secretive, and it's not very easy to understand what they are thinking and what they are in reality. So duality of character also may be there in your person if their nakshatra is Revati, if your 7th Lord is in Revati. But nevertheless, there will be people who find out how Jupiter is placed. If Jupiter and Mercury are more or less well placed, because Revati is ruled by Mercury and sign Lord is Jupiter, so if these planets are more or less well placed, they'll be very knowledgeable, they'll have in-depth knowledge of things, they can also be good at research, investigation, they'll have great intellectual capabilities, they can be manipulative, they can be more than manipulative, I would say. A duality can be there. Okay, not manipulative, but duality can be there in them. Alright, so very difficult to figure out what they are in reality. So duality of character, but that duality which is there in them, that is their nature. that they are a little, they believe in their privacy a lot. So they will not reveal everything to others. That is their nature. So it is difficult for others to understand them. So that is their nature. So no wrong intentions behind that duality. It is because by nature they are a little secretive. They like to remain in isolation. They value their privacy a lot. Okay? They can also, benefit from investments and all. They may be associated with investments, their field of career. Alright? So all these things we can say. So very charitable, very selfless and generous. Eventually in life they can be engaged in spiritual practices, charitable activities. Okay? So all these qualities they can have. And they will also be people who will, amass a lot of wealth and resources for themselves also over time. So all these things will happen if Jupiter and Mercury are well placed. Then they will have observation skills, intellectual capabilities, thinking abilities, great innovative thinking abilities. Also they will have great knowledge, and that will enable them to become prosperous and wealthy in life. They will be both, they will always look at the bigger picture. They will always, look at, their aim is always to gain knowledge. Alright? So they can impart knowledge. They can be connected with any field of work in which they are required to impart knowledge to others. So teachers, guides, preachers, professors, counselors, healers, occultists, psychologists. So all of these professions, any of these is suitable for them. Alright, so friends, that was my take on what will happen if 7th Lord will be in Revati Nakshatra. So I've covered all the 14 Nakshatras from Chitra to Revati in this video. And if you have missed part 1, go to part 1. It's there on the channel. So from Ashwini to Hasta, I have covered in part 1. Alright, so please follow part 1 if your nakshatra has not been covered in today's video. Do subscribe if you haven't. If you want personal consultation, you can WhatsApp me. Details are there in the video description. Friends, before I wind up, be kind and charitable to all beings, including animals, birds, creatures. So try to be a vegetarian and donate vegetarian food to old age homes, orphanages, and to people who are mentally, physically challenged in care homes. So always, be charitable towards them. Then the divine will always bless you. See you next time, friends. Thank you.